Have you ever wondered what made Jesus' words so powerful that entire crowds stood silent? Have you ever thought about why people said, "No one ever spoke the way this man does"? Have you ever asked yourself what true authority sounds like, not from power or position, but from truth itself? In Matthew 7:28 to 29, we read, "When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law." This moment captures something extraordinary about Jesus. He didn't just speak truth, he was the truth. His words carried weight not because they demanded respect, but because they awakened hearts. In a world overflowing with opinions, Jesus' voice was, and still is, unmistakably different. When he taught, he wasn't quoting scholars or relying on tradition. He spoke directly from the heart of God. Every word carried life, conviction, and compassion. He didn't merely interpret Scripture, he fulfilled it. And that's what stunned his listeners. They realized they were hearing divine truth from human lips. From the beginning of his ministry, people followed him not just for miracles, but for meaning. He gave them words that cut through confusion and gave direction to weary souls. When he spoke, fishermen left their nets, tax collectors left their tables, and sinners left their shame behind. The Sermon on the Mount is perhaps the clearest example of this. Standing on a hillside with thousands gathered around him, Jesus didn't preach rules. He revealed the heart of God's kingdom. He said things no one had ever dared to say before. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Love your enemies. Do not worry about tomorrow. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Each phrase overturned centuries of human thinking. He didn't appeal to fear. He invited transformation. His authority was not the authority of a throne, but of truth itself. And that truth reached into the deepest parts of the human soul. The religious leaders of his time taught from the law, but Jesus taught from life. They quoted Scripture to control. He spoke Scripture to liberate. His authority didn't suppress, it restored. People didn't leave his teachings feeling trapped. They left feeling free. When Jesus said, "You have heard it said, but I say to you," he wasn't just offering commentary. He was declaring divine authorship. He was the living word, explaining the written word. That's why the people were amazed, because for the first time they weren't just hearing about God, they were hearing from him. Jesus didn't seek attention or applause. His teaching flowed from compassion, from a deep understanding of human weakness and a divine desire to heal it. When he looked into someone's eyes, he saw not just their sin, but their story. His words always met people where they were and called them higher. When he taught the crowds, he used simple images: salt, light, seeds, bread, wine, sheep, and shepherds, because he wanted truth to be accessible. The greatest teacher the world has ever known used the language of the everyday, so that even the humble could understand the mysteries of heaven. He spoke to the heart, not just the mind. That's why his teaching still resonates today. Human wisdom fades, but his words remain. Every culture, every century, every soul finds something timeless in his voice. Think about the power of those who first heard him. They didn't have microphones, cameras, or printed Bibles, yet his words traveled across generations, shaping nations, inspiring reformers, guiding seekers. 2,000 years later, his lessons still challenge pride, heal wounds, and transform hearts. The authority of Jesus wasn't found in volume, but in truth. When he spoke to storms, they calmed. When he spoke to demons, they fled. When he spoke to hearts, they softened. That's the authority of the Creator. The one who spoke the universe into being still speaks peace into chaos. Even his silence had authority. When accused before Pilate, when mocked by soldiers, when questioned by religious leaders, he didn't argue or retaliate. His composure taught more than words ever could. His silence declared the power of self-control, the strength of truth that doesn't need to shout. And yet, the same Jesus who silenced storms and spoke with authority also bent low to wash feet, to comfort the broken, and to forgive sinners. That's what makes his authority unlike any other. It's rooted in love. When he said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest," he wasn't offering poetry, he was offering himself. His teaching wasn't about intellectual mastery, it was about transformation. To hear Jesus was to encounter the voice that formed your soul. In the Gospel of John, people marveled, saying, "How did this man get such learning without being taught?" Jesus didn't have formal education under a rabbi. His wisdom didn't come from men, it came from eternity. Every truth he shared was born from communion with the Father. That's why even his enemies couldn't refute him. They tried to trap him with questions about taxes, about the law, about authority, but his answers always revealed divine perspective. When asked whether to pay taxes to Caesar, he replied, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's." In one sentence, he silenced politicians, priests, and philosophers alike. His words had balance, justice and mercy, truth and grace, conviction and compassion. When he confronted sin, he did it without condemnation. When he forgave, he did it without compromise. His teaching didn't flatter, it transformed. The people who followed Jesus didn't just hear information, they felt revelation. He didn't say, "Try harder." He said, "Abide in me." That's the difference between religion and relationship. The teachers of his day pointed to laws written on stone. Jesus pointed to love written on hearts, and his words still pierce through the noise of our modern world. In a society drowning in opinions, he speaks clarity. In a world full of anxiety, he speaks peace. In an age obsessed with self, he speaks surrender. When he taught, his words healed minds as much as they healed bodies. That's why the crowds couldn't leave him. Even those who doubted felt drawn to him. His teaching wasn't just revolutionary, it was restorative. To sit under the teaching of Jesus was to rediscover who you truly are, a beloved child of God. The religious leaders taught about control. Jesus taught about freedom. They emphasized ritual. Jesus emphasized relationship. They sought followers. Jesus sought disciples, people willing to be changed. The end of the Sermon on the Mount says, "The crowds were amazed." That word amazed in the original language carries the sense of being struck, overwhelmed, undone. The people realized they were hearing divine truth, and it changed them forever. Every generation still stands at that same crossroads. Will we merely hear his words, or will we live them? Because Jesus never taught for admiration, he taught for transformation. His lessons weren't meant to make us smarter, but holier. He taught us how to pray, not to impress others, but to know the Father. He taught us how to forgive, not because it's easy, but because it frees the soul. He taught us how to love, not just those who love us back, but even our enemies. And in every teaching, his life matched his words. When he said, "Blessed are the meek," he lived meekness. When he said, "Blessed are the peacemakers," he made peace. When he said, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness," he satisfied that hunger through his cross. Even his death was a sermon, the greatest one ever preached. On Calvary, he taught what love really means. His wounds became words, his silence became revelation. The cross wasn't the end of his teaching, it was the exclamation point. And after his resurrection, his words continued to echo, "Go and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you." The teacher still teaches, through Scripture, through the Spirit, through every believer who lives out his truth. Today, when you open the Gospels, you're not just reading ancient history, you're sitting at the feet of the Master. His words are alive. They still challenge pride, heal guilt, and ignite hope. They still carry the same authority that silenced storms and comforted sinners. So, the next time you read the words of Jesus, don't rush. Let them speak. Let them cut, comfort, and correct. Because his authority doesn't just demand obedience, it deserves trust. And if you ever feel lost in the noise of 1,000 voices, remember, his voice is different. It doesn't shout, it calls. It doesn't condemn, it restores. It doesn't fade, it endures. The same Jesus who taught with authority in Galilee still speaks today, in every heart that listens. And when you follow his teachings, you don't just find wisdom, you find life. Thank you for watching Holy Path Insights. If this message spoke to your heart, please like, share, and follow the channel for more teachings that draw you closer to Christ. May the words of Jesus, the great teacher, fill your heart with peace, renew your mind with truth, and guide your steps in love every day.